I'm going to start with you, Mark. There's always three sides to a story, his, hers, in the middle. But does she have a point about the court systems being geared towards making money for everybody on the backs of those who are embroiled in the most emotional thing anyone could ever go through?
Absolutely, she does. My father used to call the family law courts the battle of the perjuries. And there is a very insular, incestuous system. And one of the problems with it is you don't get a jury. Everything is decided by the court. You have a system, I always say they've only got about 10 moves. And the 10 moves are that they basically liquidate your assets, everybody who's there, until you have no more assets. And then you get to a settlement that you probably could have gotten to in a mediated setting to begin with. Then when you add in the custody issues, then that goes on forever. That just escalates to a point where you just can't see straight. It's one of the reasons I think I've done one family law case in 40 years and I would never do another.
I am glad you said that. Our former colleague at Court TV, Jack Ford, one of the first things he ever told me when we started working together was, I would rather represent the worst murderers in the world than anyone in family court. He said it was the most heinous place to be, the most hateful environment, and the most angry and violent litigants. In this particular case, there's a woman who's dead, and there are three children who are exposed to so much. And I just wonder, is it true that it's the court's fault, or is it that they are so entrenched in the emotion of these children that they will fight till they die?
Well, it's probably both, right? Of course, it's the two of them and how much they hate each other. But the court wasn't making it any easier for them. I mean, from her perspective, I mean, she just was completely drained. I mean, she did not have custody of the kids. It wasn't fair to her. And I mean, my understanding is that there really wasn't a balance financially either, that he really had more of the money. And, you know, people always say we have two systems of justice, one for the rich, one for the poor. That's not really, well, I think we do, yeah, when it comes to the criminal courts. But
criminal courts, yeah, but family law is different because at least in California, if you've got more of the money, then you have to pay the other party's fees. And by the way, if somebody ever did a study, I will tell you, at least anecdotally in Los Angeles, the most dangerous place to practice law is in the family law courts. That's where lawyers get shot. The two of the murders that I can think of judges in LA County in recent 10 years, both family law judges, murders of the lawyers at the garage, at their house, things of that nature. The emotions get so overwrought. People get so incredibly angry that you can't even rationalize with them.
When you have three kids involved, and these kids are 9, 12, and 13, and both of these parents are filming each other in front of the kids, you see parents who would rather film their partner screaming at children than intervene for the children. Yeah. They'd rather record it than stop it. Yeah. I mean, when you get to that point, I'm struggling with this story because my heart breaks for Catherine, but I don't know what else was happening. I mean, listen, Catherine was arrested at one point at one of the children's schools, as I understand. Perhaps she was getting too close to a child at a non-custodial time. It's really hard to weigh in on this one way or the other if you just don't know.
We really don't know all of the facts, and that's why I really don't want to opine on one side or the other, but I do feel for this woman not having enough time with her own children, and these children are the collateral damage. I mean, yeah.
By the way, isn't it extremely hard to lose complete custody? I mean, there are so many arrangements in court nowadays where there's, you know, smaller pieces of custody that are supervised. There's myriad different ways to see your kids.
I've got friends who go through this all the time, and I will sit and counsel them that it makes no sense. You've got, why are you fighting over the money? Why are you fighting over the assets? These are basically your heirs. And all you're doing is putting your lawyer's heirs through college, or you're putting your lawyer's heirs through law school when you should be saving those assets and mediate. It doesn't matter. You can talk to somebody who you're close to who is seemingly rational, and they just default. Yeah. And they get fed and pumped up, you know, to some degree. And I have this fight with family law lawyers that I'm close to all the time. that you're not doing them any service by telling them, I need more information, I need a forensic, I need a psych, I need this, I need that, and that whole coterie of experts that surrounds
all
this
making
area.
money. The charges against her were dropped, and some of the other issues were vacated as well. So for whatever allegations were made, the courts didn't agree. But at the same time, she says the courts are always weighing against them. I only have 20 seconds left, but what's the legacy of this going to be? Is she going to leave a legacy? Is there going to be any change, or is it just tragic and awful and business as usual?
I mean, she released that trove of documents, and I really wanted to look at some of them. And where are they? I mean, they're gone now. I couldn't, you know, they're not around. So I don't know what the legacy will be. I just hope that her daughters get through this and get the help they need.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's when you hear their voices in these recordings. I'm going to get you some of that. We've been digging and digging, and I'm going to send them to you so you can have some light reading for our next visit. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.